What's up, everybody? It is Ted here with Bodies and Bricks, and I just wanted to do a quick video of yesterday of the entries that I said I wanted to see, and what would happen. Not really what would happen, but you know, if the entries I wanted to see, and yeah. So one of them was Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I put my entry at, what show position does it? Oh, sorry, 56,32329 is where I put my position, right? Uh, it literally just barely entered it. Just barely entered it. So, again, a lot of this had to do with, one, the breaker, two, Fibonacci, right at the 70.5%, or at the 62%, and in between the 70.5%. And both of those things coming together came for a perfect combination of an entry. And so it literally smack dab nailed my entry. So now that I've got that entry, I'll have to watch it closer. The other entry I talked about yesterday that I wanted to see was gold. And within since this morning, it literally nailed the entry. 9 o'clock this morning, nailed the entry. And unfortunately, I fell asleep around 5:30 or so, until about 20 minutes ago. So I've been asleep for a good 5 hours. It's been a long day at work. So I wasn't able to take off the right amount of my position that I wanted to. So I took off quite a bit portion just now, a little bit less than what I wanted to. But I moved my stop loss up. But with Bitcoin, I still think we have some movement upwards. So I am not going to move my stop loss just yet. I am not going to take a profit just yet. What it did do is it did come up, it did hit an order block. Of course, that's what made it retrace a little bit. But then again, it retraced right back down to the bullish order block, and now it is continuing upwards. So, don't think I will be changing that one for a while. Trying to think what others. I think my other entry that I wanted that was absolutely horrible was my SPX entry. I think I wanted that one. May have been around this area. Let me see here. Because that's when it fell. Clock. No, yeah, I think I did. I think I did hit the right entry. Yeah, here it is. It's over here. Hit the right entry, but unfortunately, I wasn't paying attention whenever it came down, and lost. Well, I'm in the negative, but if I'd have been paying attention whenever this was happening, or which was around noon, which is around my lunch break, so I wasn't necessarily going on. But I could have been paying attention a lot more throughout the day, and got quite a bit of a profit. But instead, I accidentally let it drop, and now I'm in the negative. So I'm hoping that comes back up tomorrow. I do see some areas to where it could push back up to, but I don't necessarily think it may get back up to where I want it to. Considering it has been on a downward area or a downward, I wouldn't say slope, but bias, and has been on a negative bias ever since it did hit that high of 39.91, and since then, but it did hit this, and what this was I believe a bullish order block. I do. Things keep popping up. I deleted this. I refresh it, and it's still staying here. No other SPXs. I do have an SPX on. Rid of that one. So, but the purple line all the way across is a mitigation block. So a low, a high, a low, a higher high. So that is a mitigation block, and I believe it is a 1 hour or 4 hour mitigation block. I'm not 100% sure. High, low, higher, high. There we go. Mitigation block. Straight across. Of course, it went down through it. It went back up. Touched it. Took off. And we talked about that the other day. And then today it came down to the same mitigation block. Or, and so hopefully that even though it went way through here, what it did, and even though this is a 1 hour, in the 15-minute it actually hit a bullish order block somewhere around in here, and that's what pushed it up. I'm hoping that, and even once we get closer into this, if we get a 3-minute but a 5-minute, we do have a low, high, low, or sorry, high, low, higher, high. So we do have a breaker, a positive breaker. So if it can get above this, then we do have a possibility. But if it tries to stay below this, then it may not get passed up above my entry. So but either way, the injuries that I did call yesterday were pretty much spot on. Just of course this one I didn't call so well. Gold I called almost perfectly. Actually I did call it perfectly. Just happened a little bit later in the day than I wanted to. And I'll have to see if it continues going up that way. The only thing that's worrying me about gold is the dollar. Considering the dollar, well, not anymore. The dollar has come up and has hit the bearish order block, which is a good thing. You see that, and that is I believe that is the 1 hour, not 1 day. Hello, 1 hour. There we go. Look across. That is the 1 hour bearish order block. Also a small fair value gap. So it comes up. It's the bearish order block. Fills in the fair value gap, and now it is starting to retrace. So I think during the it is 10:20 right now, Central Time. So I think during the London session, we're probably going to see a lot of this movement down this way, because we did see, you know, the high of the dollar here, which was Tuesday, when you usually do see the high or something like that. Did drop a lot, but it came back a lot. Doesn't necessarily mean that just because it came back a lot that is going to continue going upwards, just because it, you know, a lot of people think that because it dropped a lot, that mean, you know, you see it come up a lot, that means it's going to continue going up. No, it usually means is that this is a huge gap, and what it tried doing is filling that gap by, you know, moving the price upwards, filling in all these gaps that it missed. And now that it's filled in all the gaps, it's going to start going back the other way. That is my personal opinion on this, my personal feelings. I could be dead wrong. But you know, here we did have a positive breaker, and then, you know, once it got above it and it came back down into it and moved up. So I think once it comes back down to it, though, it's just gonna fight through it. And then I don't even know if we'd call this a breaker or not. I don't think we would, because I was thinking that this would be, well, it have the wick here, that which means it moved down, so then you'd have a high and then a, yeah, it would be about equal lows. So never mind, that is not even a breaker, that's just not a breaker at all. So considering that being said, hopefully we will see the something like the British pound or the euro start to move upwards. And even then, British pound, again, another one of those ones that I said I wished. Look at that. The box that I drew, what did it do? Went right, and it barely even touched that box. And then it moved upwards. Could have got some crazy points out of that. How many pips would that have been at multiple, at prime level? 53 pips. Could have got 53 pips out of that. Instead, what does it do? Falls back down exactly back into that box. It got a little bit lower than that, which means it probably took out the sell side liquidity, and now it's probably going to be moving up again, is what that means. And as you can see with the my handy dandy indicators here, this one is showing a buy, right around that same area. And as the red is coming up and hitting the green, which is also indicating a buy, right? So this looks like this could be a buy going back up the right way. So hopefully we shall see. This was over here. I don't know why this is all the way over here. I think I was just showing sell side liquidity and not doing it. What in the world was that? No, come on. So showing that there was sell side liquidity, and what does it do? Attacks that sell side liquidity, attacked it pretty hard. And then boom, right into that zone. and then boom, backed out of the zone, went back into the zone, and now hopefully we see somewhat equal highs up here. We should hopefully, and even then, somewhat equal highs up here, and then you have the high just a little bit higher than that. So hopefully all of that will push this we'll push this higher and bring the DXY down. We will get the foreign foreign currencies going higher. See if there is Euro US. Oh, I already got Euro USD going. Should have done that one. Euro USD, do the same thing. There we go. We have a breaker, so we have a low, high, lower, low. So there's literally a breaker going across. So hopefully, same thing as the dollar. Hopefully, when the dollar drops, the euro will turn around and take off. And the reason I think it will, I see soft highs. So we got soft highs here. So come above here, this breaker, break these soft highs, right? Once it break these soft highs, it'll come back down to this breaker, probably to the bottom, and then take off. So that is going to be my prediction. Not really my prediction, but the way I am seeing this come up. Probably come up here, do one of these. Come up, come back down, and then take off. Something of that nature. Maybe not exactly like that, but well, maybe, because that would probably be around 2 o'clock whenever it would hit that. I'm thinking it's going to be more like 2 o'clock whenever it takes off from here. Could be a little bit higher, who knows. Either ways, I have a feeling it's going to look something like this. You know, come up. Actually, I should probably bring that back up. Oh, not that one, this one. Bring this one back up. That way it'll be the equal high. Pull back a little bit. Make people think it's going to sell. And then push up. Get above these highs so that way it breaks these buy stops. Pulls back. Takes those out. And then continues on. So that's what I think probably happened with this. And then how far will it get? You can see we do have this. This as gap. If we were to do a Fibonacci in between those two, that didn't work out very well. And it was because I had that on. You can tell what that number is. My way, 95. Okay. This one would be 95. This one would come up to 95. Go. So it could possibly come up to this and before retracing. So I will pull this back down just a little bit. And then that is what I am seeing as far as maybe Euro USD is concerned tomorrow. GBPJPY. This is one I haven't taken a while. Taken a stab at in a while. Or maybe I have. I got close. Last take profit right here. Man, I got very, very close to that last take profit. Maybe we're not there yet. Maybe we are just not there yet. Yeah, it's coming from this being low as it moves up and then pulls back down right into the perfect buying opportunity in between that golden zone. That golden zone is 62 and 79% of the retracement. So that would be the golden zone. Nails the golden zone, turns around, takes back off. Just didn't get, I mean, it got to the 127%. I'm not for sure where I got this as the last take profit. Was there an eagle or something over here? Wasn't aware of? Come on now. Like I may have just had I don't know. I think I just may have had something off, but probably should have been that would have been the last take profit. But either or, I'm still gonna shoot for this take profit. Now that it has moved, and well, the thing is that it didn't break. Well, it did break the high. So since it did break the high, now I can do what did it do? Come back down, hit right at the 618. Now it's buying up. Yeah, who knows? Maybe it will break those last equal highs. Maybe that's where I got those last equal highs from, was from this one. Either way, it can't. Everything I've said, it's going to come right to those boxes. It has. It's come right to those boxes and nailed them and turned around and come out. So, not trying to toot my own horn here, but geez, almost every entry I feel like I say that. Well, I don't think I nailed this one, but it was right in the area where it should have been entered. That's for sure. Um, like I said, we did have soft highs, and I thought as it was going up, it was going to break these highs, but it didn't. Of course, we already talked about gold, already talked about Bitcoin, already talked about SPX. Next one would be Ethereum, which I made a little bit off of today in a short scalp. Was probably somewhere over in this area, actually, I want to say. And you do have some breakers here. Did not get above them. Got a low, high, lower, low. You have a low, high, lower, low. So each of those constitutes as a breaker when it did get above it, of course. It did fine until it hit the fair value gap and then it dropped. That was probably what, 2 o'clock yesterday, something like that? No, 1 o'clock morning a couple days ago. Now I am looking at, I don't these because these are worthless. Only good for trying to find liquidity for the dummies. Down, boom, took off. It hit. Went right in between fair value gaps. Yep. Right into the fair value gap and then got rejected out. Created another one and got rejected out. If there's any more of these, it's going to try to do to it. Could try to do it to this one. And that did not work. And well, it didn't work either.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
The feeling it could come up, hit this fair value gap. Probably retrace. Take out sell side liquidity before going back up. My sell side liquidity, I mean all of this right here. Everybody thinking is probably gonna buy around this area, especially this one right here. This right here is your sell side liquidity. Or prettier sell side liquidity. And at the same time, also have a fair value gap that it could enclose as well. Not much going on here. That one's already enclosed. That one's enclosed. So coordinate. That's what I think could possibly happen with Ethereum. Again, probably 2 o'clock in the morning. Again, this will probably be around 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. Something like that. Those are my thoughts. That's what I got going on for today as far as crypto indices, Forex, name it. One thing I didn't go over, Nas. Nas has been a tough one to read lately. Really tough one to read, especially when it was getting up close to those highs. It was doing the same thing kind of SPX was, and then it just dropped off immensely. This, 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 rid of this. That was about halfway point that I thought it would hit before it took off, and it did. Here we go. Your breaker across. What did it do? Boom, took off from the breaker. There we go. Low, high, lower, low. So there's a breaker up here somewhere if we could ever get to it. Then again, here. Only thing that worries me about these here. That when it comes up into these areas, they usually reject unless it fully completes the gap. But even then, if it was to complete the gap, guess what's going to happen? It's probably still going to reject because of the order block. So this not only is a gap of a sort, a closure of a gap, also a negative order block as well. Because you have the up green candle before you have the big down green push. So could have this come up and then boom, turn around. That's what I'm thinking is probably going to happen. I hope it doesn't, but and if it does do that, guess where it's probably going to go? Right here where this gap is. One reason why I think it could go to this gap is because it is also below a lot of the liquidity. Why it does that? I don't know why it does that. Go. A lot of liquidity resting right in through here. So if it just drops below the liquidity, it'll take out all those sell stops and then turn around and go back up. Taking out all the retail traders that are either using sell stops right here or buying right here and putting short stop losses right here. And yeah, exactly what you would get. So we shall see. Anyways, sorry, wanted to do a quick update. I'll put this up in just a moment. And thank you very much for watching Bodies and Wicks. I know this is impromptu, not live, but right to do best I could do. And remember to always wear your pants.